It was Friday the 13th, 1307, 1013, October 13th. And so this also started being highlighted when W met with the Pope, and they met in St. John's Tower, and this was the patron saint of the Knights Templar. And when they met with when he met W and then gave a speech at Ground Zero, it was on Friday the 13th. And they kept making all these little subtle, suggestive, symbolic gestures. And so I realized and cited on 1013 as the next major event, and I announced it on Alex Jones, and no one noticed. The headline for USA Today, or not USA Today, but in Austin, Texas, I should just leave the website alone. The headline in Austin, Texas was 1013 bigger than 9/11. I have the headline on my website, right? And I said, I told you. And then the whole coding of the Templar being our fiat currency, the taking down of the fiat currency on the 1013 date.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did it, and no one noticed. So that was my other one. But then the final one was to say that Bush would be the last American president, predicting the birther movement, because I knew they would need a birther movement, an ineligible president, to bring down the Constitution, which was the final step. So if they could get everybody behind this ineligible president and then say, oh my God, he's ineligible, then they would open the Constitution for revision, and that opens it for all revision. And that's what they've been trying to get, is this CON, or Constitutional Convention. And so I predicted the birther movement, and that you can still see on my website, before it ever happened. So those were, that's my synopsis on how I see things and how I predict things through their symbolic gestures. When they announced that there was piracy in Yemen, they used the Sirius star, and I said, oh, next thing you know, Japan, NATO, America, Germany, everybody's going to Yemen. And then they announced that they found the Ark of the Covenant there. Or at least evidence to suggest that it was there. And magnetic anomalies under the ocean and things. So they put these codes out, like the Shekinah is a coded of the Hebrew goddess Shekinah. And the Shekinah comes down and strikes Saddam Hussein, and Saddam Hussein's claiming to be Nebuchadnezzar reincarnated, and they use the mother of all bombs, which is the Moab, which are the people that Nebuchadnezzar was fighting. So the Shekinah, the Shekinah, comes down and strikes Nebuchadnezzar using the Moabs. It's the same story in the Bible,
Yeah, well, that's it. They're building up towards their Armageddon, so that so they can pretend to be the deity that will save us all.
Exactly, and that's where we're at right now. So they're flipping the script. You ETs have all become real. The space war is going full-fledged. We just launched the mini space shuttle, secret space shuttle, the X-37B. They tried to launch on the same day the hypersonic technology vehicle, and one out of Florida and one out of California both launched secret space programs. We just launched the space-based surveillance space system, space-based space surveillance system, that's how it goes, SBSS. And this is now attached to the United States Space First Aerial Squadron, right? And that's the Space Force. And we have, of course, these alpha magnetic spectrometers and all of the other things going up in the International Space Station, while China is trying to launch their own. And they start to build these new 20th century capitals. You realize that Kazakhstan, where Astana is, which has a giant pyramid of peace that you have to walk through, where they have designed a one-world religion where everyone meets around a golden sun table inside of the pyramid. They've developed a one-world currency they call AK metal, straight out of Mars Attacks. And they've got these blazing twin towers as you walk through the pyramid of peace into Astana, who from the view from satellite was exact sigil of Solomon's seal to bind spirits, which is the same seal used to make the Bicentennial Mall in Nashville. And you can see in Canberra the other sigil of Solomon to bind spirits. So they're moving the ley line capitals to their new regions. And Astana, Kazakhstan, is a spaceport. Dubai wants to be a leader in space tourism. They just opened Area 52 in New Mexico, which is the first fully fledged American spaceport, commercial spaceport, just opened. And on top of that, shut down NASA and started the rise of the Dragon, Elon Musk's SpaceX, which launches a Dragon vehicle, a Dragon spacecraft, on a Falcon vehicle, Horus, using Merlin engines, right? Yeah. So now we have the Dragons going up into space, and the NASA astronauts are now interacting with the Dragon. And we shot down the Ares, which is the Mars Ares program, and went to privatized space programs and the weaponization of space due to the fact that there's this incoming asteroid, which is named after the first serpent deity of destruction of Akhenaten, which is Apophis. And that's the doomsday asteroid that they are now battling, and that's where we're at right now.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Megan Carger with the COTO Report, and I'm happy to come back a second day to Freeman's house here in Kansas. And yesterday we were discussing the space wars and what got you into studying the esoteric things that are going on in the world, the occult, the hidden, the manipulations behind the scenes. And today we'd like to go into Barack Obama, Barack Naten, a bit maybe about Disney. I know you have to say, so please let's just jump right into this.
All right. Well, first what we need to realize is that our world our culture is created by weapon systems, by military-industrial corporations. So as we start to realize that we are just fed propaganda over and over again, we're fed this information that leads us to actions that we wouldn't normally be led to. We were discussing the ideas of Horus and the Horus worship and the rising of the crowned and conquering child. Well, in this same scene, the idea of Horus is the avenging hero. And so what they began to do for us, and around about the year 2000, started to establish the dark hero into our culture. And this came up through the death of Superman and the backing, Batman's back being broken. And Batman and Superman were killed off in 2000. Now I'll tell you, Disney just spent $4 billion buying Marvel, so realize how powerful this tool is for propaganda. And we'll get more to Disney in there. But as they wanted to institute this dark hero worship into us, they began with the ideas of Batman and Superman. Now Batman's great-grandfather is said to have founded Skull and Bones. Superman is of course one of the Nephilim, the fallen angels, and of course his true name ends with L. And we'll hear Barack Obama even quoting, saying that he came from Krypton and his father Jor-El sent him here to save planet Earth. Well, this dark hero, then, what had happened, they killed off Batman and Superman. Batman was replaced by an angel known as Azrael. And you'll find out that this is the lead angel in the Book of Enoch that brought warfare and strife to planet Earth. And this new Batman, the Batman 2000, became this vicious killer, ripping spines out of people's backs. And the public so disagreed with this concept of Batman, the man that they knew of as the detective, the true human hero. He had no superpowers other than his money, and being a son of Skull and Bones. They could not accept this slasher killer hero, and they actually had to have Bruce Wayne fight Azrael to take back over the Batsuit, because the public wasn't ready for this vengeful hero. Superman, on the other side, became 6 clones. And curiously enough, the lead clone that they used was one that dressed all in black and carried weapons. What does Superman need with guns? But they were programming the children into this new warfare. But Superman didn't take off as clones, and so he was replaced by a new character named Hellspawn. Hellspawn came through Image Comics, and he actually is a demon of hell, a dark warrior hero that then is fighting rapist pedophiles. So now if you're not reading your children's comic books and not seeing what they are programming into the children's minds for these things, then you don't realize that the bubbling up of culture of Satan is not natural. It's not just an outcome of humans being crazy, or it is actually programmed into the children at a young age through mind pattern programming. And this goes deeper and deeper as you get to the Princess Warrior programming. So what they do is they have the boys conditioned to this dark hero, the vengeful hero, Horus. Then they get the woman and the children, the girls, attached to the Venus side, or the princess. And so, of course, all of the Disney princesses. And if you start to look into them, you'll find that they have no mothers. And Disney princesses never have a mother. If you look at even Finding Nemo, The poor little fish's mother is eaten by a barracuda in the first scene. Now to us this means nothing, but to a child this is ultimate trauma-based mind control. And so they are impregnated with this, and then they're actually caught up in product placement because they want to take care of that poor little thing that had its mothers ripped apart by a barracuda. And you'll see this in many of the Disney films and how this all works. The little princess sold her soul so that she could sing and walk and go be with a careless man that gave no thought about her whatsoever. She sold it off to the Black Witch. You know, these are the type of programmings that we just take as entertainment. But this is a weapon system. And so the Princess Warrior programming has taken off now, and if you walk into your stores, you walk into your Sunsign or your Pentagram, I mean Target or Walmart, and you walk down your aisles, you're going to find a pink aisle and a blue aisle in the children's section. The pink is all princess programming. Now, if we look at this just a little bit, like Hannah Montana, Disney's latest, she has now come out as a fallen angel and is now the full-fledged Miley Cyrus. And they, of course, brought her out into the public as this new persona by putting her on a stripper pole on top of an ice cream car at a Teen Music Awards. You know, so they showed the children that here you are, Hannah Montana, you're coming out of a trailer and getting on a stripper pole. And this is all produced to you by Teen Music Awards and Walt Disney. Understand what they're doing. So what they've done with Hannah Montana is she's telling you that there's the Miley Cyrus, the little lowly you, and then there's the secret star, the celebrity, Hannah Montana, and never the two shall meet. And so they program into the children the lowly you and the elite so that they can continue on, so that we always see them as real, because this is their true power. The magicians, as I call them, the sorcerers, they actually manipulate our very minds through making themselves real. Like, what would the queen be without her little orb in her palace? She'd just be another little old lady in her house who would listen to her. But the manifestation of magic is making it real. As Hitler would get all of the people clustered together at night and put on these massive performances with scheduled banners and all of the things to make the situation real. And that's their true power. That's why they build all the biggest buildings, so that they are then absolutely known to be there. So we have this Princess Warrior programming going on that has now conditioned the children into warfare, and we're moving steadily towards World War III through a manipulation of the politics and the satanification of America, if we could put it that way. Because when you start to look at this picture, and a lot of this culture started to come up and bubble to the surface through a TV series and Married with Children. And we watched kind of the degeneration of the American culture through the TV station known as Fox. Now, Fox just happens to be the only word in the English language that equals 666 numerologically. F is the 6th letter, O is the 15th letter, 1 and 5 equals 6, and X is the 24th letter, 2 and 4 making 6, so 666, Fox. You even had a Lucius Fox character in your Batman, The Dark Knight. I mean, they are programming this into us. Well, so in walks Barack Obama. Now, the very name Barack Obama in the language of Jesus, in Aramaic, Barak Bama, means lightning from the heights. Now, this is the very description of Satan in the Bible. So now we have a president named after the appellation of Satan. I mean, if Jesus had said, and Satan fell like lightning, he would say, and Satan fell like Barack Obama. And he rides around in a limousine that they call the Beast. Now, if you look at this, he clearly, when you take his catchphrase, yes we can, and you reverse that, it clearly becomes, thank you Satan, without even any manipulation. You just flip the audio over, and yes we can means thank you Satan.
Thank you Satan. Thank you Satan.
We're gonna spread happiness. We're gonna spread freedom.
Thank you Satan.
Obama's gonna change it. Obama's gonna lead them. We're gonna change it.
Yes, we can.
And rearrange it.
Thank you Satan.
So we can see our familiar lines actually run deeper than just presidents and oligarchies and monarchies. We can see that our